I don't know. Hang on. Wait, where are we going? We're off the rails.
Sorry, we're talking about you
I
activated my lesbian mode.
I need to be a good GM and railroad y'all back to the start of the session. Whoa.
If you're a dodo, maybe you don't know. Maybe you have wings that don't do a thing. Maybe there's something to all that is nothing. No looking back, go the way of the dodo. But if we can't be brave, extinction could be saved. Adventure and romance, mystery and nonsense. Some fear and some hope, fooling us all goes. So maybe we all know the way of the dodo.
Hey, it's a podcast. Hey, it's me, your GM, your good friend, and the one presenting this here community report to you right now. It is DodoBorne, an actual play Daggerheart podcast where the four of us get together and play Daggerheart. And a lot of other stuff will happen. Stick around, find out. Don't touch that dial. We'll be right back after I introduce the people at this circular table. Right across from me, with a big smile on their face, is Rowan Collins
Squawk.
playing Pistachio. Across from Rowan is Joe Diamity playing Kapi.
Squawk.
And across the table from Joe is one Annie Hawthorne playing Crank.
Squawk, squawk.
And Squawk you too. I'm Isaac Allen Burns, your GM.
Squawk to meet you. Wait.
Last time, my fellow dodos, if you recall, after apprehending one Sebastian, you brought him back to the station, aka the Adventuring Guild headquarters. And after a little bit of questioning, Kapi, in a brilliant moment of realization, realized that Sebastian is only pretending to be drunk. Immediately realizing he had been had, Sebastian dropped a smoke bomb and made his escape. Meanwhile, y'all ran out into the streets with no sight of Sebastian. But running down the nighttime streets was one Hazel, aka Pistachio's twin sister, who said something terrible is going on at the Droop Farm. And we're going to pick up right as y'all get to the farm. The three of you see something different happening in this farm, something that you haven't seen before. Standing a head taller than a horse and about twice as ugly, you see this enormous insectoid creature towering over Pistachio's older brother, Wally. A torch in one hand and a cage harvester in the other, which if y'all don't know is a thing that they use to harvest nuts. It's like a little cage. You roll on the ground and picks up the nuts. It's not meant to be a club, but currently that is its purpose, as you see Wally sort of yelling at it as he's trying to like get the beast to flee. This insectoid has like green iridescent skin with these huge wings that are folded up behind it. It's got these enormous pincers at its face that are just sort of clawing and making a horrific screeching sound that by my own kindness I will not repeat to you. It's terrible to hear. All of you are currently, I would say, very far away from this thing, about 100 feet. Pistachio, there's no sign of your mom, but the house does not look to be attacked. But Pistachio, you recognize your dad is slumped on the ground over to the side. He looks wounded. He looks like he's moving and breathing, but he's hurt.
Oh gosh, it's Papa Cashew and Wally. Come on, guys, we gotta go. And Pistachio takes off. You could see they're kind of bounding with a fun little like feature that fawns have called leap, which means they can leap up to a close range across gaps or chasms, or just like in general.
Yes, a fawn's big old goat legs are carrying you far ahead. Kapi and Crank, you see your friend is leaping ahead very quickly, clearly distressed.
I'm sprinting at full speed. I imagine I overtake Pistachio at some point with my iron legs.
And Kapi, do you follow suit?
Yeah, I guess I just take off. I'm just like, okay, yeah, no plan. No, it's fine. We'll just, yep, all right.
The three of you head forward, and hey, it's me, your GM, Isaac Allen Burns, here to tell you a little something about Daggerheart. Distances. Let's just take a brief moment to talk about distances, gang. How does that sound? Woo. This is like a Blue's Clues moment. So, as we're aware distance is a thing that exists, not only in this game, but kind of in real life. There are various ranges in Daggerheart, from melee to very far. That sort of helps abstract just how far away people are. Rather than getting down to the nitty-gritty of a grid, instead we can kind of describe things a little better. But just to describe what these are, very far, that means you're about further than 100 feet away. Far, which is the next step, is anywhere between 100 feet and 30 feet. Then there's close. Close is between 10 to 30 feet. So you're close enough to interact with someone. Next is very close. That means that you're within 10 feet of them. And then from there is melee range, which may as well be right on top of somebody. Now, the reason that I bring this up is because the three of you are very far away. And in order to get to a thing that is very far away requires an agility check. Now, Rowan, could you just one more time read out your ability specifically for me, please?
It specifically talks about closing chasms or gaps, but it says you can leap up to a close range across gaps or chasms without making an agility roll.
So I'll say that you're probably like a little high up. That leap would probably get you at least close to this thing for free. So we're going to say that in this moment of terror, our friend Pistachio is able to get there very quickly. Now, you two are very far away. You're on foot. Can I have both Kapi and Crank roll me an agility check?
Yes.
8 with hope.
8 with hope. Okay.
Got a 20 with fear.
Oh,
No.
that's so great. So we have fear, Kapi, and we have hope, but a very low roll. So, Pistachio, you run up. You can hear Kapi right behind you, staying as close as he can. You can hear Crank kind of in the distance as Tega is, a little larger, a little bigger, heavier footsteps. As the two of you run up, you see Wally is sort of waving this torch in front of it, and it notices this large beast, this ugly, terrible insectoid beast sees you. So, Kapi, the move I'm going to, because you rolled fear, the move here is you are within close range of this thing now. However, on that fear, it's going to start this off by using its action called Spit Acid, where it's going to make an attack against all targets in front of the acid burrower within close range. So I'm going to roll some dice here real fast.
I imagine that Crank's just like sinking in the fields.
So I rolled a 5 against Kapi. Does that beat your evasion score?
No.
I rolled a 8 against Pistachio. Does that beat your evasion score?
That is by evasion score.
Believe beats it. And unfortunately for Wally, I rolled really well. And that is definitely going to beat his difficulty of 10. So it heaves. You see a big lump in its chest, and it spits out this terrible acid. Kapi, you see it coming. You're able to dodge out of the way. Pistachio, you're just a little too slow. The force carrying you forward, the desperation, I think, inside of Pistachio is just carrying them forward a little too quickly. You're unable to miss it. You're going to take 7 damage. Is that major damage to you?
Mm-mm.
Very good. So you're going to take 1 HP, and your armor score is halved till the next time you repair it, which you can do so in a long rest. Now, Wally is not a fighter, you guys. Wally has not been training like y'all have. Wally has not been preparing himself for a fight. He's been farming, and he's a tough guy. But as this acid hits him, you see it smack. It basically takes a face first of it.
Ooh.
He howls in pain and goes down.
Wally!
And with that, gang, what do you do? I'm going to say, Crank, it is going to take another agility roll to be able to get here as you are kind of sinking into the fields. The ground is very soft and Crank is very heavy.
Yeah, I'm running. I'm trying to get there as fast as I can.
Go for it. Go ahead and give me another agility roll.
That's a 10 with hope.
A 10 with hope. You are able to get there. You are now within range. That is 1 action tracker.
Kapi, what do I do? Like, can you distract it? I gotta take care of my brother and my father.
Yeah, get him out of here.
Okay.
I'm going to try.
Yeah?
So
What did Kapi do?
this thing has wings, right?
Yes.
Can it fly? Is it like hovering above the ground, or is it like planted in the ground?
It's really planted on the ground. In fact, Kapi, as you're looking at this, right,
Mhm.
This isn't a roll. This is just exactly what Kapi sees. Kapi, you see this large creature. It is standing on the ground with 2 of its legs on the ground and then another 2 on the ground behind that because it's an insect, so it's got 6 legs. You see a large hole behind it. It clearly burrowed up through here. And you see the wings are kind of folded. It looks like it can fly if it needs to.
Mm-hmm.
But you can see just kind of based on its based on the way it looks, it almost looks vestigial, the wings. It may not even be able to fly away with how large it is. But it might be like a bee.
Okay. How much? This is a question for our GM.
Hey, it's me, Isaac Kalem Burns.
Yes.
Nice to talk to you.
Nice
Hey
to
there,
talk to you,
Joe. What's
Isaac. My question is, how much? We learned what a handful of money is.
Yeah.
How much is a soft of rope?
A soft of rope?
That's in my equipment. I have a soft of rope.
a soft of rope? Okay.
Oh my god, I do too. Wait, no,
wait.
I think that says 50 feet, man.
That's a real life term.
I think that's not an S. I think it's a 5.
Oh, it does say 50 feet of rope. It looks
No,
like
it does
soft.
It does look like
it
soft
was
at first
different.
glance.
All right.
It was leaned down just enough.
It does look like soft. I'm not gonna lie.
That's
They did not put a
50.
space in
All
there.
right.
No, you're right. That's
some
50
constructive criticism for the people that made Daggerheart.
Just
different
a space,
fonts.
Just a space.
Just a
Maybe
space.
a space
This would
between
be
50
nice,
and
yeah.
Different
FT.
fonts.
You really
Spencer,
got
if
to
you're
look at
listening
that
to
close.
That feels.
A soft of rope.
I was like, oh, Daggerheart being fucked.
The soft of rope is 50 feet.
It felt like
A
a handful
soft-
of money.
it's
It
now-
felt-
You know,
Well, soft
It's a
is
soft of
obviously
rope.
50 feet.
You know what?
So now we're just going to call it a soft.
it's a soft of 50. It's a soft of rope. A
Yeah.
soft of rope is a unit of rope that is 50 feet. You
wow.
heard it here
Thank
first,
you.
guys.
Thank you, Isaac.
Yeah, Joe,
Allenberg
it was really
and
good being
Annie.
able to see that out. Actually, I'm glad that's canon now. That's actually that was a choice.
So I don't.
So you
I'm
have a
sure
soft
that
of
this
rope.
is going to be a crazy roll, but I would
Okay.
I would like to try this before things get too out of hand.
Okay.
I want to try to with crank.
Please say lasso this time.
Please
yeah,
don't
I
listen.
want. I was thinking I wanted to AT
Oh my
the
god.
bug.
Oh my god, that's genius.
with crank though.
Absolutely
God,
genius.
that's really good. Well, you see, Crank has just arrived, basically just showed up next to y'all, seeing everything that's going on.
Yeah.
And you have a soft of rope. So what does Kapi do? So I guess the question is, how does Kapi go about attempting this?
Yeah.
What if you
so
lassoed me and I just ran around it?
oh, I love. So yeah, you run up and I'm like, crank. I have an idea. We're going to use a soft of rope.
There's no time for explanation.
Yes, exactly. We're going to use a soft of rope, and you're just going to hold it, and then you're going to run in
That's
circles.
too much explanation. I grab the rope and I run. I start running in circles.
Okay.
He gets it.
This is awesome. Crank. Okay, so you grab onto this, you start running.
It's early, but I actually. So hang on. It's early, but I like the idea of just burning it now. But like, isn't there some kind of move where we can like team up on something?
You could
Yeah,
have-
one of us has
You wanna
to
tag team
spend.
this?
Is it 3 hope each, or is it one
think
of us
it's
spends 3
4
hope?
hope total, right?
So each player, once per session, can choose to spend 3 hope and initiate a tag team roll.
But I have 5 hope. Let's use the hope.
All right, let's
Crank.
do it.
The hope.
I'm going to grab it and I'm just going to go into turbo mode, and my legs are going to be like, you know, how it's animated and they're just going in circles. And I'm just running around the thing.
Like a Sonic style.
Yeah, I like Sonic.
So yeah, I'll spend my 3
Or the
hope.
Roadrunner. I'm the Roadrunner. I'm road running this thing.
Okay, go ahead and give me a Roadrunner roll, which I'm going to say both of you make your choice between agility or finesse. Agility to move quickly, finesse to use the rope.
All right, I'll use finesse because I learned how to tie ropes from Cyrus when I was younger.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm
and I have
using
a +2
agility.
in that. So
Okay, so we got 1 finesse, 1 agility. So go ahead, both of you roll.
that's a crit.
Nice.
No fucking
Oh my
way.
God.
You can come look.
God. I believe you. I believe you.
Well, this is my second session in a row getting a crit. Like on my,
I mean, I almost critted. I got a 3 and a 4.
hey, I got 2 12s. That's
With
the crit
hope
of all.
or fear?
Oh, it's still with hope. Yeah.
Nice.
My hope die's been higher every time. So that's 7, 8 with hope.
Or
Can
did
I
we have
use
to-
my experience, my you've got a friend in me experience, since I'm friends with Kapi?
Wait, did I have? Wait,
Aw.
first, did we have to roll with the move by spending the 3 hope?
Yes, because you
Okay.
spent the hope, you roll. The advantage of this is whichever roll you choose is the one that applies. So even though you roll a
Oh.
7,
Oh, okay.
we're gonna you get to use
Cool.
the crit.
Then
the
I'm
crit.
not going to use my you've got a friend in me experience.
If you did roll hope, though, you do still gain a hope.
I did roll hope.
Additionally, one other advantage is that typically both of you doing something would be 2 tokens in the action tracker. Because this is a tag team, there's only 1. So,
Mm.
Nice.
so because this was a critical, and this is incredible, I would like both of you to describe what exactly happens to this thing.
Yeah, I pictured that like between my knot tying skill and crank just like running so fast that this thing's like eyes like bug out a little bit. Just like because of the tightness.
And I think like the rupture skills are on its legs, and all of its legs go choop, and it falls over on its side.
It absolutely does so. It lands hard on the ground. You see its eyes are doing that sort of like, if anyone's played Super Mario 64, you know, that you run around the eye and its eyes like spin and it dies.
We're dating
it-
ourselves so hard every
Yeah.
time I play.
I know.
It doesn't die.
Every time we play, it becomes aggressively more clear
I
that we're in
know.
our 30s.
Let me make
Right,
let me make
Jesus.
another let me make a better So, like in Roblox, when you're like running around so fast you get dizzy, like,
Actually, yeah.
yeah. So it's kind of like that. So this thing gets dizzy. I'm going to say again, because, just to take a step back, hey, it's me, your GM, Isaac Allen Burns. And these are the moments as a GM, you have to make a decision sometimes. Critical is super good. And you can control F through all the rules. You won't find a single rule on what ATing a acid burrower has. However, what this move essentially does is you have restrained its legs and you have made it fall prone. So in this moment, to honor that crit, and because this doesn't do damage, but that was a really great move, I think exactly what y'all described occurs, and it is currently vulnerable and restrained.
I want to punch it in the head.
Awesome. We're punching it in the head. So as it's on the ground there and you see Crank moving towards it, fist cocked and locked, Pistachio, what are you doing?
So Pistachio has run up first to Wally, who they saw went down, and it goes, "Oh my gosh, Wally, are you okay?" Is Wally breathing?
Wally is breathing incredibly fast. He is breathing really fast. He is clutching one side of his face. You can see like acid smoke coming off of him, and he's grimacing. He's like groaning. It hurts him real bad.
Pistachio has put both of their hands over Wally's face, one hand over, I guess, Wally's hand, and goes, "Let me see it.
Don't touch it.
Let me see it. Wally, for the love of all that is holy, please let me see it."
He lifts his hand up gingerly.
And as he lifts his hand up, Pistachio swoops their hand in, and they spend 3 hope to clear 1d4 hit points on a creature that they are touching, which is Wally. So they are going to heal Wally 2 hit points.
Is this the first time that you've done magic around your family?
This absolutely is the first time. Pistachio has been very shy about doing magic at all. And right now their like instincts have kicked in. So they're not even thinking about it at this moment, just to like heal their brother.
What does this look like as the magic courses through it?
So I imagine that Pistachio has a little bit of like the hands start to glow a little blue and green as little almost like vine-like tendrils kind of gush into like Wally's face and then kind of pulse as it like heals any knitted skin that was it's kind of a little gross magic, I think.
Can you go ahead and make a knowledge check for me on this one?
Sure thing. So that's going to be a 14 with hope.
14 with hope. Something you know about acid burns like this, what very little that you have learned so far about medicine and being a doctor, is that acid burns are tough because even if you were to heal it, as long as the acid stays there, it's going to continue to burn his skin. And you sort of see that this stuff is sticky. You're going to have to rinse this off or it'll keep burning him. However, you at least know that you have stabilized him. He's still in a state of shock. He's breathing very quickly. His eyes are unfocused, still clearly in a lot of pain, but he is not, it doesn't look like it's going deep into him anymore. It's probably not. It's not on the verge of death right now from that acid, but you can see that it's still sizzling his skin.
Okay.
As you're treating your brother, you're dragging him away. Crank, we called a shot earlier. You're going to punch this thing in the face. Go ahead and roll those bones. And just to explain.
And I have advantage, right?
So you do. So vulnerable, anything that makes you vulnerable means you're in a very difficult position. So what happens basically is any rolls targeting a vulnerable individual will have advantage. So as you go up and cock that fist back, you slam down with your gauntlets. Go ahead and roll that attack with advantage.
I am currently attempting to remind myself what advantage is. Is that still a D6?
I'm so glad that you asked. Yes. Advantage means you add a D6 to your total.
That's what I thought.
Again, the hope and fear still work the same. It's just now you add a D6 to the roll.
What's those? 17 plus 2 is 19 with fear.
That definitely beats his difficulty. Yes. Go ahead and roll damage.
That's an 8 plus 1 is 9 damage.
Crank, you start wailing on this thing. You punch it once, you punch it again. It is on the ground. And as you're punching it, it is struggling against its restraints and it is going to begin to move. Now, there are currently 4 tokens in the action tracker, which is really exciting for me, your GM. The first thing it's going to do is attempt to break out of its restraints here. And what I'm going to make it do is I'm going to make it attempt a roll.
Can I talk shit for a little bit?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So Crank hits it, and I'm just like, yeah, you got it now. got it now. It's again messing with the robot with the wizard hat. They're just wailing. I'm like, what do you think this was? You were going to come up on some farm, throw some acid on some stuff. This ain't nothing. You ain't nothing.
As you start yelling at it, it rolls a 15.
Perfect.
And you see it's, as you yell, you're not nothing. You see it looks at you and goes, and breaks through its restraints. It's like splay out in all directions, and it stands up so quick. And that's one.
And
of
then,
its
like
actions.
Kapi, like his shoulders scrunch in, and he's like, see, this is, some people don't support this sort of motivational style, but see what it's gotten you is, see how far you've come now you are something. I had faith all along. I just wanted you to get your full potential, and I'm backing up at the same time.
As you say that, Kapi, you see that as quickly as it stood up, it's like big pincers go into the ground and dirt is shoved into nowhere as it burrows in the blink of an eye.
Ugh.
Moves as fast as a mole does. And there's a moment. And suddenly bursting out of the ground between the two of you is this creature as it bursts out of the ground. I can't stress enough how it has exploded out from under you. I need an agility reaction from you two.
Okay.
That's just the same as a regular roll, right?
That is correct.
That is a 6 with hope.
That'll be a failure.
Or
Oh
I'm
my
sorry, a 6
God.
with fear.
That's
No.
a 9 with fear.
No.
So reactions don't have hope
Oh,
or
okay.
fear. I don't
Gotcha.
Oh,
believe
That's
so,
okay.
but
Then that's just a sub.
Yeah, that's just a 6.
however,
9.
unfortunately,
Hey.
neither of those are high
Nice.
enough. And you both are knocked to the ground and made vulnerable until you next act. Now, the thing is, you guys, this thing is so fast. This thing is so quick. It's relentless, in fact, which means
I think that,
Go ahead.
sorry to interrupt, but I really think that falling to the ground is going to push me into unstoppable mode.
What does that mean?
I feel like this whole time, even like when I've been punching in my eyes, have been like flickering, kind of like between the
Yeah.
soft yellow and the red. And I think that getting knocked over just makes them go solid red.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
So I'm going to enter unstoppable mode as I fall to the ground. I cannot be made vulnerable in this mode.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm unstoppable on the ground.
Okay, yeah. I'll say that happens. Kapi, you go flying back a little bit. You hit the ground hard, and you see that Crank turns red a little bit.
I'm like, oh, you done and did it now? Done did it now?
I'm going to spend one of my banked fear to allow it to go again now.
Yes.
And so it's going to make 2 attacks.
Our GM's
One on
entering
each of
his
you.
villain era.
I'm in my villain era, you guys. First, it's going to swing at our most vulnerable candidate, which is Kapi. So this means I have advantage, which, as a GM, that means I roll 2 d20s. I take the highest. You hear that?
Yeah. I notice it's coming for me, and I'm like, actually, no, I was just kidding. You're great. Good acid
Uh-oh.
burrower. Good acid
Is that a
burrower.
crit?
Good acid
Oh my
burrower.
God,
That is a crit.
No, it's not a crit.
No.
You're 2 d20s?
As we recall, crits in this game for damage are basically a brutal critical, which means the maximum of the dice roll plus a dice roll. Kapi, as this thing stands over you, you've been talking so much shit. You see Crank turn red. The last time you saw that was back when you fought the eel gators back in the swamps.
Yeah.
And you have that thought as a scythe-like blade goes straight through your stomach, almost pins you to the
Am
ground.
I very close to him?
I'm going to say in this case, you were knocked in separate directions.
Okay.
So you are unfortunately not very close to each other. But Kapi, that's going to be 33 points of damage,
Oh, shit.
Holy shit.
which I believe is
shit.
severe. As a blade stabs into you, it brings a blade up to go towards Crank, who's on the ground. Not vulnerable. So
Not
I
vulnerable.
only get to roll 1 d20 on this one. I rolled a 2. As its scythe-like blade sinks into the ground, through Kapi basically, you hear a sort of metallic screech as this scythe just sort of glances off of your metallic body, Crank. That is all for my guy. Kapi, I'm going to ask you actually first. You're pinned to the ground. You're not restrained or anything, but this thing has sort of pinned you. You can feel its blade sort of tearing on your insides. And it's pulling the scythe out of you. Kapi, how do you respond? You're on the ground right now.
Is my jacket okay? Is my jacket okay? Is my jacket okay?
You know, you'd have to see the back of it. You don't know. Your jacket was open, so it didn't hit the
Yeah.
front of it at least.
Yeah, I think I'm just going to try to roll out of the way. I don't know.
You roll out of the way. You're trying to get out of there. So Cappy's moving away. Crank, how are you responding?
I'm in full battle mode because I'm unstoppable right now, and I don't think I'm aware of really anything else.
Okay.
So I'm just going to get up off the ground and continue trying to wail on this thing as hard as I can.
Do it.
I think I will use my forceful push ability on this attack to try to get it away from Kapi.
Do it up.
So, can I use my Battleborn experience?
I'm going to say no in this case. I'm going to say no.
Villanera.
I'm going to say right now, like for experiences, I don't think it would have to be a very specific
Okay,
case.
yeah,
for
that makes sense.
it to
That
use
makes
it on
sense.
an
It's
example.
going to be 14 with fear again.
That will hit it. That is some fear. Uh-oh.
So I deal damage, push the target out of melee range, and may spend a hope to make it temporarily vulnerable. So I'll do that too.
I really thought I was going to save the day with the rope.
That's 6.
I thought we were just going to.
The rope kept it
Yeah, I
from
thought.
attacking y'all once, though.
I was like, I'm going to think my way out of this one time.
That's 6 damage. I'm going to use Mark of Stress to hit it again with advantage because I made it vulnerable. That's a crit,
Oh.
Let's go.
which is 8 plus 1, 9. No, 4, 8, 12,
So 12.
13. 13 damage on the second.
Oh, no.
Crank
This,
got a crit.
Crank, you are slamming into this thing. You hit it once, you hit it twice, you feel something break inside of it. It squeals in pain. As you push it away, it even stumbles back almost closer to its hole. It looks really hurt. Now, Pistachio, you have dragged Wally, I would say a safe distance away. He's still breathing very quickly. He's hyperventilating. His eyes are kind of moving in all different directions. His skin almost feels clammy at this point. He is definitely in shock.
He's definitely in shock.
But the skin is no longer, you have pretty well rinsed it off. You know that you'd probably have to apply some soft gauze to it. But I think, Pistachio, you're looking at this.
Is that like the soft rope?
It's like a soft rope. It's
Yeah.
like a soft of gauze.
Gotcha.
You need a soft of gauze on his face.
Okay, got it.
You look over
50 feet of gauze?
50 feet. That's a lot of gauze.
That's a lot of
It's
gauze.
a soft of gauze. A half soft, really. You look over. You see your dad on the ground. And now you see Kapi on the ground. A lot of blood coming out of Kapi's stomach.
So I think Pistachio at this point is making like a split judgment. So they're going to look at their dad. How bad does their dad look?
As you look over, you see your dad is holding his arm. There doesn't seem to be a lot of blood. Actually, from where you're standing, it almost looks like his arm is broken. And you're looking at Kapi, and you see he got fully stabbed in the stomach. So you think that Kapi is definitely worse off right now.
Okay, so kind of want Pistachio to do 2 things, but I'm going to...
You can have Pistachio do 2 things. That's the good
Okay.
of Daggerheart.
So
You
the
can make
first
many rolls.
thing that they're going to do is they're going to look at Wally and go, take care of dad. And they're going to bust out running towards,
Wally doesn't respond.
they're going to take care of, they're going to run over to like, because essentially they're looking at this and saying like, they're probably out of the fight. They're at a good distance. A broken arm can be mended later, but Kapi's got a literal gash through him. And so Pistachio runs over and like slides in to like take care of Kapi. And they go, all right, okay, all right, now stay with me. I've got you. All right, ready?
Is my jacket okay?
Your jacket's gonna be fine.
Listen, can
Just
you
like
tell Scarlet.
you're gonna be. They look at you and go,
Kapi's saying his last words.
Tell
and they go,
Tell-
they slap you, and as they slap you, they do the same thing to heal you,
Much more violently.
much more violently, which you gain. What was that number that I just rolled? 2 health points back, and they go, keep fighting, and they turn around and they like lock down on this thing.
So wait, did you heal me?
Yes, 2 points of hit
2.
points.
Okay.
2 hit points.
Wow.
Yeah.
So they lock eyes on this thing.
Still covered in blood, Kapi.
Yeah, but I know, like, I feel it close up, right?
You feel it kind
Probably?
of close up. It's one of those things where like you can feel the skin close up. And
Whoa.
modern medicine, we modern audiences know, probably some nasty bug gunk in there, but you think he'll be fine.
Yeah, I'm going to use this thing called Vicious Entangle, which we've already seen from Sebastian, where I'm going to make a spellcast roll against this thing to try and restrain it with ropes and vines, kind of basically repeating the same thing that Kapi did in AT-AT it, but with vines this time.
Let's roll. Let's see what happens.
That is a 20 with hope.
Gracious sakes. You see that as this creature is sort of dazed, confused, its eyes kind of rolling in its head, it looks and you see a creature that is cornered and vines whip up. And before it can even do anything, before it can even react in a way that would suggest that it has already had this happen to it, you tangle it up.
And what this does is it also does 1d8 plus 1 of physical damage. So it like, these are vines covered in spikes as it lashes into it with 5 points of damage.
Pistachio, as these vines wrap around this thing, you hear this final crack. And Kapi, you and Crank, kind of closest to it. Crank is a little red-eyed right now. Kapi, can you give me an instinct roll for me?
Yes. Instinct's a +0. But that's okay. No, it's not. That's a 10 with fear.
A 10 with fear. Okay. Kapi, you're looking at this creature right now. And Kapi, I would say between the two people also fighting this thing, Kapi has definitely had the most street smarts, I would say.
Mhm.
You look at a creature that's cornered, which I think Kapi finds surprising, seeing there's a big hole that it came from here, right?
Mhm.
As you're looking at this thing, it didn't run. It clearly could have. It was hurt. It had really no reason of being here. Why was it even here? These things don't eat nuts. It didn't even seem like it was here to eat anything. Something drove it here.
And to be really honest, that was a lot of Kapi's motivation on like just trying to tie it down originally.
Yeah.
Was like something's not. Kapi's starting to get real conspiracy boy about this whole thing.
Yeah.
And to the point where I assume most people probably won't believe him, but like he's starting to like have real bad vibes just about everything that happens.
And I think with that fear, Kapi is still unable to put the pieces together.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that Kapi recognizes something is up here.
Yeah.
As this thing is imploded from the inside, as these vines crush it in finality. You see this creature, its body gets crushed and then turns to this purple ash that sinks into the ground.
I think Pistachio is holding their hand up as they did this and like breathing really heavily, and that like as it takes a second longer before their eyes snap back in and they freak out, and then they go, "Oh shit, Dad!" and they like run back over to go set their dad's arm and like help Wally out.
Crank, how do you feel right now? What's going on with Crank?
Well, I think the minute the threat is over, Crank is just like kind of battle mode ends and like comes back to it and is like, "Oh, what happened?" And I like look around to see what else happened because I don't know what's been going on around me until this point.
Crank, great job.
Oh my God, Kapi, you're covered in blood.
Yeah, covered in blood.
What
You did
happened?
great. Again, kudos. I'm worried that maybe you're not processing things correctly.
What do you mean? I'm not sure what you mean. I do have like a processor, you know, it's like a whole 4-core kind of situation. I process many things at once.
Yes, except it seems to be core things, like when you get upset.
Upset? What do you mean upset? I don't have emotions. I'm a
Right.
robot.
I guess, what's the last thing you remember here?
I mean, I remember beating this thing to a pulp,
Uh-huh, and then?
and then I was here and it was dead.
Yeah. And the gator.
Yeah, I punched that too, and then it ran away, and then
Yeah, it didn't run away.
Oh.
I mean, its life did
Oh,
from its eyes.
that's right. I
Yeah.
forgot. I must have blocked that out.
Uh-huh. As someone that processes emotions very well, I've been told. Almost too well, some would say.
Emotions are simply electrical impulses, Kapi.
Yes. And where do you think your impulses are short-circuiting?
I'm pretty sure I'm functioning as designed.
Perfect. We'll table this, but I think maybe we could revisit this later.
As you turn around to see Pistachio walking towards their family at a hurried pace, you see another figure running towards all of you. He's waving a hand and is yelling kind of in the distance, "Is everyone okay? Does anyone need help? I know basic first aid." And coming closer, you see this figure. He's got like a messenger bag slung on his side. He's got like a well-fitted vest and like some nice black slacks, like a purple vest. He's got blue skin. He's this Inferni, which is sort of like similar to like a devil person almost, with these sort of big blue horns. But he's running up, sort of waving his hand, saying, "I saw the commotion. I think one of the farmers here told us that there was a commotion here. I came to see if I can help. Is anyone hurt?"
Do I know this person?
You've never seen this person before, no?
Okay. It's a small town, right?
It's a small town.
Yeah.
You know, basic first aid, quick, great. I need a split and some gauze, and I'm going to go straight into helping my dad. We can deal with names later. You're coming with me. Do you know how to deal with shock?
He says, yes.
Okay.
I have combat medicine training.
Okay, fantastic. All right. My father's arm is broken and my brother is in shock, so I need to deal with both of them. I need somebody to hold him while I split him.
Okay. I'll handle your brother that's in shock.
Okay.
He points at Kapi. He says, you, help this one with their father.
You're just giving orders, or
We don't have time to argue.
Yeah.
He runs towards your brother. I think that's a great time to end this episode of DodoBorne. Thanks for playing, everybody. Thanks for listening. Thanks for subscribing. 5 stars on Apple Podcasts, downloads,
or Spotify.
or wherever you
What
get
we're
your
saying
podcasts.
is we'll take any rating.
As long as it's 5 or higher. Anyways, thank you, Darrington Press, again for creating this wonderful game that we love so much. And we wish you a Merry Christmas. Goodbye, everybody.
See ya.
Happy holidays.
Squawk. Squawk.
Hey, it's a podcast.